Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Tuesday. It's August 20th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and I had a little snafu today. I don't know what the heck happened, but when I got done, there was no audio whatsoever. So I'm not going to go through this thing. It was about a 20-something minute video, and I just don't have time for another 20 minutes. And it's frustrating, and I know it's probably frustrating for y'all when you're waiting on to see the trades, and I don't have time to go through each and every one of them. But I'm just going to give you the basics, 4 or 5 minutes here again, and I'm gonna wrap it up. But just to kind of give you an idea what the day was like, early on when we started rallying here, what you're probably looking for is either this is going to be a range day, which is not as likely because we're trading well outside the overnight highs and lows, but there's a gap here on the daily chart, and you won't see it on this chart because there is no gap on this chart. But if you're trading the daily chart, it closed here yesterday and it opens here today. So between that yellow and little dotted brown line, that would be your gap. And notice what happened. We filled that gap and then turned back down. And once it was obvious we were going lower again, you just measure this first leg and then you look for a measured leg, and you can see we got almost a perfect measured leg down, and now we're bouncing. So that would have been a great target to the downside, and that's what I would have been looking for. So a lot of the volatility seems to have subsided the last couple of days. The bars are more of a normal size. You can get in them with a 2-point rule and so forth. This was a pretty straightforward day. Um, There's a few longs in here, but it's mostly short when it looked like we may be going to trend up here. And we still could get a range day, even though we're trading outside the overnight highs and lows. But generally, when you're going to see a range day, you're going to see prices still trading most of the entire day inside of the overnight highs and lows. Well, here's your overnight lows. This one may be slightly lower right here, and your overnight highs up here. Well, you can see we're trading well outside of that, almost double the, you know, outside of that. So it's a possibility that we could still have a range day, but unlikely. We're more likely to get a reversal, or we're going to get a correction that goes about 50 to 75% of the original move down, and then it's going to reverse, and you look for a measured leg down. And I talked about that in the mid-morning chart this morning. Lo and behold, prices rally straight up there to that point and turn down. And with experience, you learn what the market does every day, and that's it's no crystal ball or anything like that. I wasn't sure that's what would happen, but that was my suspicion because I've seen it happen so many times. And so again, once it starts trending down, and there's a two-tier channel going down here, the likelihood of a measured move is probably pretty good. And if we bounce somewhere and can't get through, you notice we had a little trouble getting through there before we finally dropped on down. Prices had to come back to the trend line, and then we got that. Notice where all your big moves come from, off the key entry points. The big move going up, and this one was really the surprise. It didn't surprise me that we filled the gap. It did surprise me that we kind of chopped around and then shot straight up to it and then turned down. I thought that it looked like early that there was a two-tiered channel right here, but when we pushed on through it, just get an equal distance from the trend line and the trend channel and assume that this is probably the midline, and that's exactly what happened. And that gives you a target. Notice where you get a little confluence there between the trend channel line and the overnight, the close from yesterday or whatever. And we filled that gap, and prices head straight down. So I did want to at least go through that, and maybe I'll just quickly talk about these trades and tell you what I saw. Second entry short here on a double test. Failed second entry long here. We weren't quite back to the EMA, and it's not a perfect signal bar. Or I shouldn't say EMA, I should say trend line and our EMA. It's a little early, so you're better off to wait on the second entry, and my second entry just has a horrible signal bar there. Now, let me just make this bigger. If you've got a decent signal bar there, by all means, jump in right there. And you would have got a runner off this early trade, right? 7 o'clock came right up through here. And this second entry short on the double test, if you catch that one trade, you're probably done for the day. It's nothing better than coming in and being done trading by 8:30 or 9 every day. and having a really, one or two really good trades. And so then we get another second entry short here, the first break of that trend line, and we're not down to the trend channel yet, so we probably got some more room down. And then another second entry short right here. Notice that double bottom, first entry, second entry, and off we go to the lows. It's tempting there, but I wouldn't enter there. Then we run up, and you get another double test. Looks very similar to this, almost a repeat pattern, a little smaller, but it's almost the same pattern. Go short right there. Lower high right here on a second entry short, because notice first entry, and then it tries to go our second entry. Then it bounces. There's actually a failed second entry short here, but with this being way away from the EMA, right into the possible trend channel line, and already having a close outside with not much, or actually you don't have a close outside yet, I'd be leery of that one. It would have still worked, but when it tried to go lower again here and had this real small bar, I liked entering there because you probably trapped some shorts there. I really thought that would take on off. It didn't, but it still was a nice, easy trade. Another double bottom there with a double test. Notice that low. You test it once, you test it twice. Plus, it's off the midline EMA. It's not a perfect signal bar, but you may take that one. Then you get another higher low right here, and it doesn't quite touch that trend line. I think it's close enough to say you confirmed it, because sometimes your trend line may be off just a hair. But the better trade was to wait on the reversal pattern, which came right here, and this thing just shot right off. That was, if you just caught these two trades, that was the two trades to catch. And again, you don't know that this thing's going to rocket off like that, but it does. You would have had a runner. This was a nice runner right here. And then, of course, you get your reversal back down, and you're just expecting it to come back to here at this point. But it is the first break of the larger two-tiered channel, so we may trade all the way down to a new low. And it really does. It actually bounces off the trend line again right here. You've already had a close outside and a new low. You're a little bit away from the EMA. Not a perfect setup, but you may take it. The better setup was up here when it confirms this trend line and gives you a failed second entry short. It's an easy scalp, but you don't get much more. Then you get another double test here. Notice you made that high. You test it once. You test it twice. On a second entry short, I like that one. Another nice move down. Second entry short right there. Notice the low. First entry, second entry, right off the EMA. I don't think you want to enter down here off the trend channel line or what looks like it at that point. Another second entry short, and then a failed second entry long right there on yet another second entry short, because that's a double bottom. So first entry, second entry. That's right at 2 o'clock, but I wouldn't be too concerned. I mean, actually, this bar where you would enter, that's really your signal bar, was right before 2 o'clock. And with that being a failed second entry long and a second entry short, I'd probably still take that trade. And again, I apologize that I had to rush through the trade so much, but I felt like it was worth coming back and spending another 5 or 10 minutes and just kind of explaining the day, so it's not a total bust. And I'm hoping I've got volume on this one. I don't know, sometimes this thing just does crazy things. I thought maybe I didn't have my volume on, but I did. So I don't know what happened, but anyway, every now and then I'd seem to have a snafu, and this is one of those days, so I apologize. But we got something going on there. Anyway, I'll be back again to do it tomorrow. I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.